Good morning, students. Sairam. Welcome to this session. Hope all of you are fine. Let us continue with the lesson. We have started with the sixth lesson, traveling with grandfather zoo. Okay, we have finished two parts of it. Now we are going to start with the third part. Can you remember who is the author of this lesson, children? Yes, it is Ruskin Bond. Okay, now let us continue. Well, first let us revise the lesson by looking at this picture. Hope you can remember the story. Okay, who were traveling in the train? Grandfather, grandmother, and the author. Where were they going? They were going from Dera to Lucknow in Lucknow Express. For a few months they were going to stay in Lucknow. So what did they decide? They decided to take their pets with them. Grandmother's pet was the parrot. You can see how it is sitting on her shoulder. Okay, and the name of the parrot was Popeye, and grandfather's pet was tiger. The name of the tiger is Timothy, and boys or the author's pet was squirrel. The name of it was Chips. Hope you remember the names. And whom they did not take home. They left their pet animal python at home. Okay, because they thought taking python with them was not safe during the journey. So they left their pet animal python back at home, and they bought all the other three pets with them. Okay, so they started and what did grandfather do? He booked a first class ticket. He booked the first class ticket which had got 4 seats and 4 berths in them. Okay, that has got 4 berths. So in that, one berth was reserved for the tiger Timothy. How happily Timothy is sleeping on top of the berth. Okay, and the other 3 seats were for grandfather, grandmother, and the author. Okay, and it had a door, the first class compartment. Okay, it has got a door for them separately, so they thought it will not create any problem while they're traveling, because in India in those days they could carry, it was not crowded so much, so they could carry the animals also, pet animals also, and nobody was objecting. But now it is not possible because the train is already crowded. Okay, and what happened after that? So they bought their tiffin. Grandmother had carried dinner for the journey. Okay, what all she made? She had bought ham sandwiches, 6 boiled eggs, one roast chicken, and gooseberry pie, and few apples. She had bought the tiffin, and they had kept the tiffin under the berth. Okay, so after some time, what happened? Grandmother went to sleep. She did not have her dinner. She told she is not hungry because she had had soup before they left for the journey. So she went up and she went to sleep. And before the train started itself, this Popeye started making mischief, isn't it? He started nipping the fingers of people, those who were coming for selling. The vendors who came near the window, he started biting them. Okay, he had already pulled one inspector's ear also. Okay, it was very naughty. And what about the chips? It went round around roaming in the compartment, and it made friends with all the co-passengers. And his stomach was full because all had bought peanuts. Usually in the train journey we all like to have peanuts, isn't it? For time pass, what we do, we buy peanuts, we eat. So many passengers had bought peanuts, and they started feeding this chips, and it was so happy, its stomach was full. So after some time, the author was hungry, so what did he do? He pulled his tiffin bag outside. When he pulled, what did he find? He found their pet animal, which was that lying inside, the python. Python was lying inside, and it had finished all the dinner. From the snake they could see it had swallowed the boiled eggs and roasted chicken and the gooseberry pie. Everything could be seen. The shape of it could be seen outside because it had swallowed everything. Only the remains of the dinner were inside the basket. and it had left only the apples. It is not like the apples, only the apples were remaining. So what did they do? They closed the lid and they pushed it back into under the berth, and they did not want to tell grandmother. But because the author was hungry, he was telling the but Chips, what did he do? It gave him one from other passengers. He had collected peanuts and he was giving the author to eat. So he was happy. Okay, let us continue reading, children. Okay, now before that, let us learn the new words. Pry up means open with difficulty. Unconvinced, not certain that something is true. Distrust means the feeling that someone cannot be relied upon, not believing. Okay. Clamor means a loud and confused noise. Clamor means loud and confused noise. Okay. We'll read. A little after midnight, there was a great clamor at the end of the corridor. Grandfather and I woke up. Timothy growled in his sleep and Popeye made complaining noises. Suddenly, there were cries of "Saf, saf, snake, snake." Grandfather was on his feet in a moment. He looked under the berth. The tiffin basket was empty. Okay, what happened? So, little after midnight, they went to sleep. They left the python inside the tiffin box, closed it. It was not that tight, okay? And they went to sleep. Suddenly, they could hear the clamor means a great confusion of people, the shouting, noise of people at the end of the corridor. Grandfather woke up and even the tiger and Popeye also was making noise because of that sound. All of them woke up. And what was the cry? They all started shouting, "Snake, snake." And grandfather ran out to see. And first, what did he see? He got up and he peeped into his tiffin basket. Was the python there? It was not there. The tiffin basket was empty. Okay. "The python's out," he said, and dashed out of our compartment in his pyjamas. I was close behind. About a dozen passengers were bunched together outside the washroom door. "Anything wrong?" asked grandfather casually. "We can't get into the toilets," said someone. "There's a huge snake inside." Okay, so what happened? What did they say? "The python's out," he said. Well, he came to know that python was out. It was not in the tiffin basket. So where it has gone? It has gone out of the pajama. He ran with his pajamas. He didn't change into his pant. He went in his pajama and he was close and I was close behind. The author also ran behind. Who were standing there? So 12 passengers, that is dozen passengers. Many of them were standing near the washroom door. And casually grandfather asked, "What was the problem?" He said, "Nobody could go to the toilet because there was a huge snake inside." Okay. "Let me take a look," said grandfather. "I know all about snakes." The passenger made way for him and he entered the washroom to find the python curled up in the wash basin. After its heavy meal, it had become thirsty and finding the lid of the tiffin basket easy to pry up, had set out in search of water. Grandfather gathered up the sleepy, overfed python and stepped out of the washroom. The passengers hastily made way for him. Okay, what did the grandfather do? He said, "Move away." He's telling, "I know about snakes, let me see." So he saw and he found his python where it was in the wash basin. It was curled, it was just lying down in the wash basin. Why did it come to the wash basin? It was thirsty because it had had heavy meal. What all it did swallow? It swallowed 6 boiled eggs, ham sandwiches, one roast chicken, all this it had swallowed. But it was feeling thirsty after that. So in search of water, where did it go? It went to the washroom. So what did the grandfather do? He took out that sleepy, overfed python. It had a stomach full. Okay, it was fed so much. It has eaten all their dinner. So it was so sleepy. It was so sleepy also. So it carried him, and the passengers left way, and the grandfather took this python back to their compartment. Okay. Nothing to worry about, said grandfather cheerfully. It's just a harmless young python. He had, he has had his dinner already, so no one is in any danger. And he marched back to a compartment with the python in his arms. As soon as I was inside, he bolted the door. Grandmother was sitting up on her berth. I knew you'd do something foolish behind my back, she scolded. You told me you got rid of that creature, and all that time you've been hiding it from me. Okay. So what grandfather is telling? Nothing to worry, because already the python has had his stomach full, and there is no, he is not hungry, so no, they will not cause any harm to other people. So he consoled all other people, and he took the python back to the his compartment, and after the author entered inside it, he bolted the door, because all the pet animals are inside only. All the four were there now. Popeye, Chips, and Timothy, as well as the python. All the four pets were also inside. So grandmother was angry. She was sitting. She also got up because of the noise. She got up and she was sitting and she was angry, and she was telling she had insisted not to take the python. Okay. So but what is she's telling? She's saying, I told to do food. She's telling, I told you to get rid of that creature. Which creature is this? Python. I told to leave that python home, but still the grandmother had thought they had purposely brought the python in their tiffin basket, but they did not believe that it came on its own. Okay, grandmother thought that purposely grandfather had bought their python, the pet animal python also with him. So because of that, grandmother was angry. Okay, grandfather tried to explain that we had nothing to do with it, that the python had smuggled itself into the tiffin basket, but grandmother was unconvinced. So grandfather explained that python had come on its own. It came and sat inside the basket, and they did not know that python was there. They thought it was the only their tiffin bag, and they carried it. But grandmother, she was not happy with the answer. She was not convinced. What will Mabel do when she sees it? She cried despairingly. Mabel is as aunt. Okay, author's aunt. So what she's telling, what will Mabel do when she sees it? Because she's frightened. Aunt is very frightened of this snakes. So my aunt Mabel was a school teacher in Lucknow. She was going to share our new house, and she was terrified of all reptiles, particularly snakes. Saying Mabel was a school. What was she? She is working as a school teacher in Lucknow. She is going to share. She is going to live with them in their new house, and she was frightened of reptiles. Reptiles means all snakes, crocodiles, all these comes under reptiles, lizards, all those. Okay. Now we won't let her see it, said grandfather. Take back, it goes into the tiffin basket. Okay. So she's saying we won't let it see it. So we will not let it see. So they will put it back into the tiffin basket. So they actually we will not show this to aunt. We will put it back into a tiffin basket. Okay. Early next morning, the train steamed into Lucknow. Okay, Aunt Mabel was on the platform to receive us. So the next morning, where did they go? They reached Lucknow. Who was on the platform? Aunt Mabel was waiting to receive them. Grandfather let all the passengers get off before he emerged from the compartment with Timothy on a chain. I had chips in my pocket, suitcase in both hands. Popeye stayed perched on grandmother's shoulder, eyeing the busy platform with considerable distrust. Okay, so next morning the train reached Lucknow, and Aunt Mabel was in the platform to receive them. And grandfather, what did he do? He let all the passengers go off, and after that they came outside they tying the Timothy tiger with the chain. They came out of the train at the end, and Chips was in his pocket, and he had carried two baskets also. And Popeye, where was Popeye sitting? Sitting on my grandmother's shoulder and looking at the busy platform. Okay, with distrust. Now Aunt Mabel, a lover of good food, immediately spotted the tiffin basket, picked it up, and said, "It's not very heavy. I'll carry it out to the taxi. I hope you have kept something for me." So, what did Aunt Mabel do? She was fond of food. So, what did she tell? She told she will carry the tiffin box, and she was hoping that they had bought something for her to eat in the tiffin box. But what was that? There was the python. She did not know, so she is telling she will carry the bag up to the taxi. Okay, so this much we have seen today, children. So let us brief it out. So what was there? Where did the python go? They were when grandfather, grandmother, and author all were sleeping. The python was feeling thirsty, and it went to the washroom to drink water. So when somebody went to the washroom, they found the python, and all started shouting, "Snake, snake!" So with that confusion clamor, who got out? Grandfather ran to see, and he found out his python was inside the wash basin. And he told the people that he knew more about snakes and he will help them. And he carried the python. Sleepy, it was already overfed. It had eaten all their dinner, and he brought it into the compartment and bolted. Okay, and grandmother was angry because because she had insisted to leave the python home, and she thought grandfather had purposely bought it with them. Okay, she was not convinced. When grandfather told that they had not bought it purposely, she was not convinced. And when early next day morning they were reached Lucknow, and who was waiting? Aunt Mabel was waiting for. She was waiting on the platform, and she was a good lover of good, and she wanted to carry the tiffin basket up to the taxi. Okay, and because she thought that something she would they had bought something for her to eat. Okay, hope you all understood, children, this part. Now let us continue with the next part in the next presentation, next video. Till we meet, bye children, take care.